and welcome to the McGregor Family Farmstead. Today I'm going to show you how I make yogurt for my family using an inexpensive yogurt culture, just regular yogurt from the store, and fresh milk straight from our cows. So I'm going to start by heating up my milk to 180 degrees. There's something about heating your milk that warm that helps to change your milk protein so that way your yogurt is a thicker consistency, which most people prefer over the thin consistency. Now, I have a gallon of milk, and it is not whole milk, but it is not 100% skim either. I would say it's partial skim milk. Now, yogurt, you really don't have to have whole milk to make a good yogurt, but I think it's tastier if you leave some cream on your milk. Now we're going to go take care of some other farm chores. We'll just make sure that we go check on our milk soon so it doesn't overboil. And it's been about 15 minutes, and as you can see, we're just over 180, so I'm going to go ahead and remove my milk from the heat, and I'm going to let it cool down. And I'm going to give you a quick explanation of the cultures that you use for yogurt. This is really important to understand if you're going to use a yogurt from the store. You want to make sure that the label says contains live and active yogurt cultures. You also want to be sure that the milk that you're using is at the proper temperature, which for a thermophilac culture, that's what you typically have in yogurt, is going to be about 110, 115 degrees. I think technically it can still be active up to about 125 degrees, but I would definitely keep it under the 125 degree mark. Now, that is going to be different than your mesophilac cheese culture that you would use in like a typical gouda, or oftentimes a cheddar will call for a mesophilac cheese culture, where you actually want the temperature of the milk to be under 100 degrees. And just for our viewers who may be more familiar with the metric system, 125 degrees Fahrenheit would be equivalent to 52 degrees Celsius. So you want to keep your milk at less than 52 degrees Celsius once you add your yogurt culture. And I'm going to chill my milk in a cold water bath just to help speed up the whole process. And our milk is now at 115 degrees or 46 degrees Celsius. And it's now ready to culture and put into jars. And it's important that the culture that you're starting with, it has not been cross-contaminated, so no double dipping in your yogurt that you're going to use for culture. And that your jars are clean as well. Some people prefer to sanitize their jars before they use them to make yogurt. At the very least, making sure that they're clean all the way is a good idea. I have 1 cup of our yogurt, which is equal to roughly 250 milliliters of yogurt. I'm going to go ahead and add it to our milk now that our milk is the right temperature. You want to stir your yogurt culture in with your milk really well, so that way there's not just, 1 huge clump of yogurt at the bottom and then everything else really has any in it. Select the jars that you want to use. I find that wide mouth are a little bit easier, so I have 2 quarts and I also have 4 wide mouth pints. I'm going to begin adding my cultured milk to my jars. Some people prefer to culture their yogurt in a crock pot or one big container. I think that's fine. I just really like the taste and the texture of yogurt that is cultured in the cup. So that is why I prefer to do jars, even though it is more time consuming and you can save time if you just opt to put it all into one big ceramic dish. Yogurt was one of the first dairy products that we started to make. I'm pretty sure we were making it in 2016 when we had our first milk cow. But I think we started making it before that when we would buy milk from the Amish. So we've been making yogurt for quite a few years. You want to pick a spot that's going to be out of the way where you can let your milk culture for 6 hours without disturbing it and moving it around. And you want to have a clean bath towel to help keep the heat in. You can also put it in like a crock pot. Some people prefer to culture their milk in the oven, but I find that for my purposes, just sticking my jars of warm culturing milk into a thick, clean bath towel and covering it really good that way works just fine, especially in the summertime when it's not cold. Some people will stick like a hot jar of water in the center to help keep the heat, which might be a good idea, especially in the winter when you're dealing with colder temperatures. So I'm going to tightly cover this and just let it sit undisturbed for about 6 hours. And it's been about 6.5 to 7 hours. We're going to have a look at our yogurt. And here we are. Beautiful yogurt. That cream on the top, I think, is the best part. Some people like to stir it in. It's totally up to you. Be sure that you label your yogurt, including with the date. I try to use ours up within about a week, 10 days, but honestly, as long as it looks and smells fine, it can last a lot longer than that. Usually the yogurt will set up a little more once you have it in the fridge overnight, so I like to try to chill it thoroughly before serving it. There you go! Making yogurt is really very simple and easy. It's a good starting point for people who want to learn to make their own dairy products. For the full recipe, please check out our blog.